In today's video, I'm going into people pleasing and how we want to be and need to be liked. So this week I'm starting a series on people pleasing and different approaches, different ways of looking at it, as well as connecting within your body. So do check that out later in the week. I'll have other videos that are also connecting within your body. But in today's video, I did want to go into like how I see or am and be around people pleasing. And I realized that I'm not really the type of people pleaser that when people come to me and they're like, I need this or need your help, I actually don't do a lot of that. Like I don't, it's not that I don't say no, it's just I don't have a lot of people come to me, for need or help or something. And I think it's maybe that I have boundaries or just kind of like, I'm not the type of person that does that, So I automatically just don't have people coming to me in that way. And I know when they talk about people pleasers that we're the type of people that it's like you don't have boundaries, you can't say no because you always want to be helping and needing, helping people in certain ways. And I was like, well, that's not really the aspect of me that's people pleasing, but I am a people pleaser when it comes to I want everyone to like me. Like absolutely everyone. Even strangers that I meet on the street for the first time, I want to make sure that they like me. And so I was looking at this idea of why is it that I need people to, like really even strangers like me? What is it? And so I want to share a quick story too about a stranger that I was like, I want this person to like me. So I was living in New Zealand at the time. And I at that time had recently got a bike, and I decided I was going to bike into work. And I'm terrible on a bike, like absolutely terrible. But I was like, okay, I was living in Wellington, and it was a nice area for biking and everything, and pretty short commute to work. So I'm biking into work, and I then, at the time, for those in the US, North America, we pass in cars on the right side, or as well, when you're walking, you pass on the right side. But in New Zealand and like in the UK and other countries where they drive on the left, you also then pass people when you're walking on the street on the left. So here I am on my bike and I'm like, oh, I need to pass these people on the left side, and I'm conscious and aware that this is like the rules here versus what I was used to in the US and North America. And I was then like, oh, how do I pass this guy? And I'm trying to pass, and this guy too was like, And so I almost ran into this guy because he too was unsure, and I'm trying to squeeze by him and everything. He starts yelling at me, and it was like, you people, I can't stand you people, I don't understand. And I'm like, me people, what? And I was so like, I don't understand this, what's going on? And I realized that here was a guy that actually had just moved to New Zealand as well. And he was not used to himself passing others on the other side, So here it was like, oh, here was someone that also was struggling, unaware of all the new societal rules that he was in. And I, though, took it on as it was me. It's like it was my fault. He hates me. He doesn't like me. And that's where I then struggled the rest of the day. And I tried in my head, to think it through logically of like, okay, what actually really happened? And, here was a guy that, okay, he's probably new here as well. And it just happened and it was his last straw. Okay, I can see that. I still could not work through it because I was not liked. So why did I so need to be liked by this absolute stranger who I then never saw again? Like, what was it in that I so needed? And when I really dig into it and look into it, I realize I want to belong. Like when I want people to like me and to be liked, I really want that feeling of belonging. Like I do want to feel that I'm part of a group and I, really belong with them. But I realized over the years that what I would do is I would change myself to fit into what I thought the society needed or my group needed. And I would then be that to fit into it. But then I was never truly myself. And when I wasn't truly myself, I never then really did belong because I never felt fully seen. I never felt fully me. I never really felt I was actually living my truth around any of the groups I was in because I always was slightly different. I was always something else. So did I really belong in these groups? Sure, I was liked. People liked being around me. And sure, I fit in and I hung out with them, but I never really belonged. So it wasn't until I started to step into me being really me, my authentic self, and what I want in life, and that I started to attract in people that also saw that in me and, fit with me in that. And that I created groups then of friends that actually really saw me for who I was, and authentically me. And so when it comes to, again, people pleasing, do I need to have this stranger on the street actually like me? Like, do I need to worry about his anger, him getting upset at me, and in that moment, feeling frustration towards me? And I was like, well, I don't need to belong with him or his group. Like that was the big reason of me wanting to be liked, is to actually feel like I belong. So does it matter? Does it feel like, do I need that story that I have in myself? Like I had these conditions in my head of believing that if someone likes me, then I belong, or then I am part of this community and loved, or, like I'm wanted in this group. And it's like, oh, well, in that situation, do I need do I actually, need to even worry about that? And when I'm really stepping into myself and knowing like what is true and real in myself, then I actually have friends and communities that are really seeing me for who I am authentically. And that guy was someone that got frustrated and angry in a moment. And I'll never see him again. Again, it's something still that I feel that I have to process or look at, or, like kind of go, oh, I had this condition in my head, this storyline in my head that meant that if people liked me, I'm, then I belong, or then I'm part of this community. So it's like shifting that thought process in my head as well, or that storyline. As well, check out in the dialog box below, I do have a coaching program where I help individuals step into your authentic self and into who you truly want to be. So do check that out and start to notice in what ways that you are people pleasing. Like I had mentioned earlier in the video of people coming to you and needing things, and do you have boundaries around that, or are you able to say no with people? And then as well, like my example of needing to be liked, in what ways are you, doing this with people? Start to notice it and start to see if there is like an underlying reason, like mine, of needing to belong. Like, did you need or want to be liked to be able to then belong in these groups? But like my example too of being in the groups, sure, I, fit in with the group and I was liked in the groups, but was I really true in myself and real and feel like I really belonged in those groups? And when I say really feel like I belonged, it's like, well, because then people that really see me, people that really hear and, really actually saw to the core of me and still loved me and respected me for that. Like, that's the kind of community that it's like, oh, those are the people that I want to be with. Those are the people that I can really, truly be myself with. So thank you for joining me today. I'm AmyC with You Finding You. I'm an intuitive and transformational coach, and I help individuals like you step into who you really want to be, into knowing who you are, getting connected to yourself, and more aware in your reality, in the world around you, and in yourself. And if you are enjoying these videos and getting value out of them, do hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Thank you again. I'll see you in the next video.